Hey everyone, welcome to Wisdom again. This is your host Pratis, and thank you for your support so far with my ventures. And today we're going to talk about crypto market, especially Bitcoin. Is the top in? I am going to go on a whim and say the top is in. I think is why am I saying that? So I'm going to give like few reasons for this argument, right? So I might be wrong, I might be right. This is not financial advice. So take that with a pinch of salt because if anyone tells you that they know how the market works, they're kind of like, I think, I don't want to say that word, beep, beep. Right. They are probably liars, I guess. So there's a couple of things happening at the moment. Jeremy Powell, the Fed chair, is being replaced by someone of Trump's choice. So why does Trump wants to choose someone, a new Fed governor? Because he wants someone to cut the interest rates. Because US has a massive debt, and the higher the interest rate is, they have to pay more interest, right? So their interest might affect the productivity because that's also go out of the budget. So that's a big issue for Donald Trump. So he's trying to artificially cut the interest rate. But people would say if you cut the interest rate, that's a great thing, no? Only the people who has more money in savings account will be affected. Other than that, everyone will be great and dandy. Not necessarily, because we used to have after 2008 a long term of 0% interest rates, almost close to 0% in the UK, in the developing economies, and also in the US. What that happened is like they kind of ran a deficit, and then because they had to pay less interest, they kind of ran a deficit comfortably, right? And what that happened uh, as a result, which made people borrow more with credit cards. So credit card household debts went up, and then because if you don't increase productivity and you are taking loans, the same amount of money is chasing the infinite amount of supply, which will in terms increase the price. That's inflation, right? People will demand for more wages. So if the companies have to pay more wages, they will increase the prices of their products, and that would in terms increase the prices, and then it's a vicious cycle that would increase inflation, right? So there has to be a balance after COVID, the furlough, and when people started receiving money from the government without going to work, I'm not against that, but that's what exactly happened as a fact. And some people saved their money, some people went and bought things, and suddenly the inflation went up double digits, and the Fed, the U.S. Federal Reserve, decided to jack up the interest rates for people to encourage them to save money, and also if they pay more interest, they will be dissuaded from buying new things with debt. And that kind of brought the inflation down to now 3% or around 2.5%. So the problem with the interest rate is now the interest rate is up at around 4%, and then the Trump administration want the interest rate to come down, and Fed Powell, the chair, is actually not budging, I think, so they won't replace him. So interest rate cuts are a great thing for Bitcoin because the more liquidity the crypto markets will do great, because the risk assets do great with more liquidity. According to Warren Buffett, high interest rates is always like a headwind for assets, any assets, not only risk assets, because Warren Buffett doesn't even think on crypto as an asset class. But if interest rates go down, why do I think that the top is already in? The reason I'm thinking is because there is a 4-year cycle with Bitcoin especially, and then the cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and the rest of the altcoins follows Bitcoin. So if everyone thinks if the interest rate cuts are coming up on December 10th, because that's where the next Fed meeting is, and everyone expects the crypto market to go up, the contrary is probably true. When everyone's running towards something, then you just run against them, because that's how market works. You have to make money when someone is losing money. That's kind of the sad part of it, but that's how it works. And it's volatility, right? So in terms of Bitcoin running up and up above $120,000, and now it's kind of stuck and came down below $100,000, it's kind of like showing the pattern. The markets doesn't repeat, but they rhyme. So that's what kind of happening. I don't think the interest rate cuts are going to be the cascading effect which is going to push Bitcoin down. And I'm not saying that it's not going to go down from the price today, but what I'm thinking is it's not going to surpass the all-time high again. That's my judgment call, but I might be wrong. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but this is the reasons behind it. There could be a lot of things can go wrong with this, right? We don't know what is going to go wrong, but there's a lot of things. You wait and see. Things will just happen just to make sure the prices go down. That's how market works. The news always follows the price of the product, crypto or stocks or whatever. They will always have a narrative, so you have to be really careful about it. If you're going to hold any assets for long term, then go ahead and buy them, but just make sure that you don't have any necessity to sell them or get out of them, because the prices will be volatile. So just keep that in mind. And so 120,000 is the high for this cycle, most likely, because I think the liquidity is going to dry up, even though Fed is actually stopped the quantitative tightening. What is quantitative tightening, right? So that's like the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve. Why am I keep talking about the Federal Reserve? Because they are the largest economy in the world, right? So any and every banks, like the Bank of England, the Chinese Central Bank, and the European Central Bank, they're all going to follow the Fed's footpath. If you see this trend, they jacked up the interest rates, these all followed, and now they're going down and everyone follows as well. I think the Bank of England has cut more rates, but they kind of like paused recently. So keep that in mind, right? Do some more research. Just don't go and throw the money into the market, right? Because it's going to go down, go up, and whatever, because it could do either. But if you're happy to buy Bitcoin at today's price, if it goes down, you should be grateful to buy it in the lower price, because that's how it should be, right? If you go to a shop and you really wanted to buy something, but if it's 40% discount, would you go and tell them, no, I will pay the original price? You're going to pay with 40% discount. Even you will haggle to get a 50% discount, right? But when it comes to stocks and crypto and the other asset classes, when prices go up, everyone goes and buys it. But when it starts to go down, everyone runs away. Everyone says they're going to buy through the bear market. No one does it, right? Very rarely. And just remember, as I said before, the life-changing money comes from the bear market. So that's it for today. And thank you very much for listening to my video. And thank you very much for the support. Leave some comments on the video and tell me what other videos you like me to make. And until then, I'm very grateful. And just say, with my motivation stuff, I did an exercise cycling today, and I burnt around 1,100 calories. So that's something to motivate my listeners. And until next time, see you guys. Bye-bye.